Lagos State, one of the most beautiful cities in Nigeria. Lagos is known to be a very vibrant city in Nigeria, with its sprawling estates, beautiful streetlights, and bustling markets where you can meet different people of different ethnic groups. In the four walls of Lagos, you will find Shining Star Secondary School, a prestigious secondary school where the wealthy send their children. This school is known for the powerful and the wealthy in the society. A lot of successful businessmen and women, including politicians, send their children to that school. Lagos pulses with the contrast of wealth and poverty, where luxury cars share the road with okadas or motorbikes, and where the rich live in high-walled mansions while the poor have to make do with far less. This is Daniel, a 17-year-old boy from a wealthy family. He is charming, intelligent, and kind-hearted, but he feels the emptiness of growing up with only his mother, who is a high-powered businesswoman, often too busy to be present. Daniel lost his father at a very young age, and since then he has been living with his mother, who barely has time for him. This is Ijoma, a 16-year-old girl working as a maid for the Osage family. Despite her humble circumstances, she is gentle, hardworking, and always optimistic. Even in the face of hardship, Ijoma has learned to always stay positive through life, be happy, and focus on her studies. Due to her unending love for education, she has chosen to always focus on her studies and to become a very successful doctor in the future. This is Vanessa, the 17-year-old daughter of the Osage family. Beautiful but spoiled and often cruel, especially towards Ijoma, whom she sees as nothing more than a servant. She is popular at school but harbors deep insecurities. Vanessa is known for her bad behavior, negative attitude, and a very sassy personality. But despite her bad character, she still has a lot of friends at school who follow her like puppies. This is Mrs. Osage, Vanessa's mother, who is often oblivious to her daughter's behavior and sees Ijoma as nothing more than hired help. Mrs. Osage contributed greatly to her daughter's bad personality. This is Mrs. Olayemi, Daniel's mother, a successful businesswoman who struggles to connect with her son. Although she loves him deeply, she always claims she's busy and never makes out time to bond with her son. Daniel's life is one of luxury, filled with everything money can buy, but something is missing. He lives in a large mansion with his mother, who is often away on business trips, leaving him alone in a house that feels more like a museum than a home. At school, Daniel is popular, but he often feels disconnected from his peers, who are more interested in flaunting their wealth than in meaningful connections. Many times, Mrs. Olayemi doesn't even have time for her son Daniel. If they could be at home, they would just be at a distance. They would just be like strangers. They don't even act like mother and son. She is not close to her son in any way, and this affects Daniel a lot. Most times, whenever she's not around and she has gone on one of her trips, Daniel would be home alone, either working on his laptop or studying his books, because Daniel has a big dream of becoming a medical doctor in the future, and he's staying focused on that dream. Despite all the friends he has in school, because he is a very popular kid, Daniel doesn't allow himself get distracted from his future goal. Daniel has a lot of female friends, and a lot of girls are attracted to him. They always want to be around him, because he is a very fine teenage boy, and he is also a very wealthy boy. Most times, Daniel wishes that his mom would spend more time with him. Meanwhile, Ijeoma's life couldn't be more different. Orphaned at a young age, she works as a maid for the Osage family to support herself. The Osage mansion is grand, but for Ijeoma, it is a place of constant work and little rest. Vanessa, the Osage's daughter, is particularly cruel to her, both at home and at school. Ijeoma, however, remains kind and gentle, even as she endures Vanessa's mistreatment, always hoping that Vanessa will one day see her as more than just a servant. But that day never came, as Vanessa kept on being very cruel to Ijeoma. She always scolded her at every possible chance she had. Sometimes she would bring her friends home to even scold her too. One morning, as Daniel is dropped off at school, in his chauffeur-driven car, he notices a girl walking alone, carrying a heavy bag. He recognizes her from a few of his classes, especially during summer lessons. She sits in the front seat and always answers a lot of questions in class. He has always seen her as a very intelligent student, and something about her intrigues him, but he can't quite put his finger on it. During lunchtime, Daniel watches as Vanessa and her friends gather around Ijeoma, mocking her for her plain clothes and the fact that she works as a maid. Vanessa spills juice on Ifeoma's uniform, laughing as she does. Daniel's heart aches for the girl, but he hesitates, unsure of what to do. He knows Vanessa and her friend will target him next if he stood up for Ijeoma, but he also knows he can't just stand by and do nothing. That evening, Daniel can't stop thinking about the incident. The girl's sad eyes haunt him. He decides to do something about it, even if it means risking his reputation. The next day at school, Daniel approaches Ijeoma during a free period. He notices her sitting alone reading a book. He hesitates for a moment, then walks up to her. "Hi, Ijeoma, right?" Daniel asks, his voice gentle. Ijeoma looks up, surprised that someone like Daniel, popular and wealthy, is talking to her. "Yes, how do you know my name?" Daniel smiles, sitting down beside her. "We have a few classes together. I've seen you around." They talk for a while, and Daniel is struck by Ijeoma's intelligence and kindness. She's different from the other girls at school, more genuine, more real. Ijeoma too finds herself warming to Daniel. He's not like Vanessa and her friends. He seems to see her as a person, not just a maid. As days turn into weeks, Daniel and Ijeoma's friendship grows. They find solace in each other's company, sharing their hopes, dreams, and fears. Ijeoma tells Daniel about her life, how she came to work for the Osage family, and her dreams of one day going to the university. Daniel in turn opens up about his loneliness, the pressure he feels from his mother's expectations, and his desire to find something meaningful in his life. Vanessa notices the growing closeness between Daniel and Ijeoma and becomes furious. She can't understand why Daniel, someone she has always admired from a distance, would choose to spend time with a mere maid. Her jealousy consumes her, and she becomes even more cruel to Ijeoma, both at school and at home. One afternoon, Vanessa's jealousy reaches a boiling point. She confronts Ijeoma at school, in front of everyone, accusing her of trying to steal Daniel. The crowd of students gather around them, watching the spectacle. "Who do you think you are?" Vanessa sneers, her voice dripping with venom. "Do you really think someone like Daniel would ever be with someone like you? You're nothing but a servant." Ijeoma tries to walk away, but Vanessa grabs her arm, spilling her books to the ground. The crowd laughs, and Ijeoma feels tears swelling up in her eyes. But before she can say anything, Daniel steps in. "Leave her alone, Vanessa," Daniel says, his voice firm and filled with anger. "You have no right to treat her like this." The crowd falls silent, shocked by Daniel's intervention. Vanessa's face turns red with anger and embarrassment, She glares at Daniel, but he doesn't look back or back down. "Why are you defending her?" Vanessa snaps. "She's just a maid." Daniel looks at Vanessa with disappointment. "She's more than that, Vanessa. She's kind, intelligent, and she deserves to be treated with respect, unlike you." With that, Daniel takes Ijeoma's hand and leads her away from the crowd, leaving Vanessa standing there, humiliated and alone. After the confrontation, Daniel and Ijeoma's relationship deepens. They continue to meet secretly, knowing that their relationship would be frowned upon by both their families. Daniel's mother, Mrs. Olayemi, begins to notice the changes in her son. He seems happier, more at ease. She eventually learns about Ijeoma and is initially shocked. She had always imagined her son with someone from their social class, but seeing how much Ijeoma means to Daniel, she begins to reconsider. One evening, Daniel brings Ijeoma to his home, introducing her to his mother, Mrs. Olayemi. Though surprised by Ijeoma's mother's background, is moved by the girl's humility and determination. Over time, she warms up to Ijeoma, seeing how happy she makes her son. Meanwhile, at the Osage house, Vanessa's behavior only worsens. She feels betrayed by Daniel and lashes out at Ijeoma even more. But Ijeoma, now stronger with Daniel's support, begins to stand up for herself, refusing to be bullied any longer. One day, Vanessa goes too far and Ijeoma finally has enough. She packs her bags and leaves the Osage house, determined to find a better life for herself. Vanessa is left alone, realizing too late that she has driven away the one person who truly cared about her. After leaving the Osage house, Ijeoma stays with Daniel and his mother for a while. With their support, she is able to continue her studies. Daniel and Ijeoma's relationship blossoms and they grow even closer, bound by their shared experiences and dreams for the future. In the end, Daniel's mother, Mrs. Olayemi, decides to help Ijeoma further her education. She recognizes the potential in the young girl and sees how much she means to her son. Vanessa, meanwhile, is left to face the consequences of her actions. She learns a hard lesson about the value of kindness and humility. And though it takes time, she begins to change, slowly rebuilding her life. As the school year comes to an end, Daniel and Ijeoma stand together. Looking out at the sunsets, they know the road ahead won't be easy, but they are ready to face it together. They have found love and friendship in the most unlikely of places, and nothing can take that away from them. Beneath the same sun that shines on both the wealthy and the poor, Daniel and Ijeoma make a promise to each other to always stay true to themselves, to never let the world's expectations define them, and to always find strength in their love. The end.